Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. My name is John Green. In a stunning turn of events, it is raining in England. And the Swindon Swoodilypoopers are taking on, I don't know, Doncaster? We've got to win this game. We haven't been winning enough. So I put on some gingers. I figured that's a way to win. Some of these gingers don't have high skill levels, but they all have high heart levels. And you can't put a price on that. We are going to start John Green and Leroy Williamson up front. Ginger McShane and Ginger Rampage are going to be in the back. We are anchored by He Who Shall Not Be Named, who, by the way, I just named to the South African national team because, you know, I can. Everything okay? What's with the funny look? When Meredith was in high school, they used to call her Megadeth because of her stare and murder face. I don't want to say that she looks like she has the face of a murderer, but she does. I'm going to talk today about loneliness because it's something that interests me. I spent a lot of my my formative years pretty lonely, especially when I was in college, and then in the years directly after college. Even when I was, this is cliche to say, but it's also very true. There are many kinds of loneliness, and one of the worst kinds is the kind that is not actually solved by being around people, because it's sort of an existential feeling of isolation, not anything having to do with one person or another person. So it's not so much about being alone. It's more about this sort of like the feeling of being isolated and not being able to like connect meaningfully with other people or enough other people in order to feel fulfilled. This is I think this is complicated for some people, or at least people like me, because I am pretty introverted. Oh, ball! Other John Green needs to have a better first touch. They need to call him First Touch John Green. Better First Touch John Green. That needs to be his new nickname. There's a good first touch, but it was all for nothing. Merrick has it. Passes it to John Green. Good first touch, all for nothing. Oh, the only guy slower to shoot is James Collins. Where do I get a fast shooter in this game? That loneliness is not easily addressed by things like, oh, it's got to be, and it is. What a ball for Lionel Richie. He's big, he's tough, he has a brilliant puff. Other John Green. What a great ball. Just a historic, heroic cross for Lionel Richie. He's like, hello, is it a cross you're looking for? And other John Green was like, as it happens, it was. So, if we follow our usual path, we will now not score again, give up a goal in the second half, and draw 1-1. I'm going to try to not do that this time. Although maybe I'll give up a goal in the first half. That would be a nice change of pace. So that kind of loneliness it can be sort of exacerbated, I guess, if, like me, you are an introvert and you benefit in a lot of ways from not being, from having time alone, and you need time alone. But you also, the vast majority of humans anyway, need to connect with other people and need to feel connected in order to have to feel fulfilled in their lives and feel like they have what they want. I get a lot of my meaningful connections now from my relationship with my brother and from my closest, the people who are closest to me in my working life, like Julie Strauss-Gable, my publisher, and my agent Jody. I get a lot of that connection from them, and then also there's a great team of people here who make Crash Course and stuff, and that's really important to me now. And I didn't have that when I was 20. I had coworkers, but at the end of the day, they went home and did all their stuff. But I think the most meaningful connections in many ways for me when I was in those the sort of most difficult times in my post-college days were from people who I worked with, and I was really lucky to have people, especially like Eileen Cooper, my Eileen. I say everybody should have an Eileen, and I mean it, but Eileen is mine. People like that. It was really, it was really important to have that. But like it wasn't enough a lot of times because the workday ended at 4:30, and then I would go home, and I would, many days go like a lot of days in a row without seeing people, and that's difficult. It's not a great clearance. League best, baby, league best. I mean, one of the sort of paradoxes of loneliness or like feeling socially isolated is that it becomes more and more difficult to kind of like do the things that you need to do in order to not feel socially isolated, so you end up feeling like progressively more and more socially isolated. So I experienced this a lot when I lived in my first few years in Chicago, because I would feel like I wanted to be, I would know that I wasn't happy and that I needed to be interacting with people and having sort of like enriching experiences with others and conversations and stuff. But I would find it really difficult to do that because I would just find it difficult to like leave and like try to make the effort to make those connections, because if those connections don't already exist, you have to make them, and then they're quite difficult to make. Like that. I think we sort of take it for granted when we're younger that those connections will always be there. Although they aren't always there in high school. I was lucky that I had a great group of friends, by the end of high school. But I always sort of took it for granted. And then you get out of college, and there's like you don't know how to make friends. I certainly don't know how to make friends. I've really only made like 2 friends since college, and I made them in my 30s. And the whole reason I don't want to leave Indianapolis ever is because my friends live here, and it took me forever to make any friends, and I don't want to go about trying to make others. So I think. That's a difficult problem to solve, because you want to be able to make those connections, but it's hard to do the work to make them. All I would say about that is do the work, because when I started doing the work when I lived in Chicago, it turned out that even though I felt like I didn't have any friends and like my life was this boiling pit of misery, that in fact I did have really good friends, and some of the people that I started to spend time with have, are my closest friends now. Merrick, he got fouled in the box. How do you like them apples, Doncaster? Oh, you don't have to like it, but you have to suffer through it, like so many difficult things. He has Rovers Till I Die on his butt. Did you see that? On the back, I believe he plays for the Doncaster Rovers, so that's what it means. Oh, we call him Bob. He's but we call him Bob. The great intellectual force behind Swoodilypooping. We call him Bob, with a fantastic finish on the penalty. Look at him. Cool as the other side of the pillow. Finish. By the way, We Call Him Bob just read How to Get Filthy Rich in Rising Asia on my recommendation, and said that he quite enjoyed it, and that it reminded him of Thomas Mann's work. He's just, I mean, for a footballer, it's just unfathomable how intelligent and thoughtful he is. Huge fan of him. I recommend the book as well. Both The Magic Mountain and How to Get Filthy Rich in Rising Asia. I didn't see a lot of the same connections that he saw, but whatever. I was still impressed, even that he's read Thomas Mann. Did you know that he can read in 4 languages? It's incredible. Yeah. The only thing that I can really recommend is to like do the work to make the connections, because that it pays off. And I know sometimes it can be really frustrating, and you go home and you just feel like, oh God, I'm never going to like anyone ever again. But it is really valuable. The other thing that I found great comfort in, and that I still find great comfort in, is reading. Reading for me is a way to connect with people, who are real but rather distant from me. Whether it's Thomas Mann or Shakespeare or whomever, and it's a really, for me at least, like a really powerful way of being kind of aware that you're part of a larger human story, which I find very helpful as an introvert. Reading is a great social connection for me. So that's something that I enjoy a lot, and then I enjoy a lot when I have quite a bit of alone time. Oh, that was almost a beautiful thing. That was almost. Oh, I forgot they have philosopher David Hume on their team. I wonder if we get the ball now. Do we still get the ball? It's looking good for a Swoodilypooper victory. We like to play in the rain. Oh, we get the ball. I think we've Ginger Rampage up there somewhere. Somewhere we have, nope. Like so much effort in this world comes to nothing. Awesome Dawson! No, that guy takes like 40 seconds to shoot because he's a 55 skill level. I just want him to score someday, even though we don't really have a song for him, so I don't even know what I'd do. Maybe a, huh? Oh, Meredith wants to play the Dawson's Creek theme song when he scores. I don't even know. I can't sing it. I don't know it. But I don't know. I guess you could play it, and we could just risk the copyright infraction. I mean, this whole thing is copyright illegal. Oh God! No! It's gonna happen again! No! Oh, everything's fine. That was not a foul. That was not. Oh, he didn't like it that they didn't call it, but they didn't call it. All right. Woo! Okay. You're better than that, Leroy Williamson. That was not a good header. So do the work, and then the other thing, which is the advice that I always give, and I know that it gets repetitive and annoying, but I really believe it, is that you have to allow yourself to feel the feeling and not like judge yourself and be mad at yourself about it, or like catastrophize it and be like, this feeling is going to last forever and I'm never going to feel any kind of sense of connection to another human being. Like, that's just not true. That's just your brain. That's just your crazy brain doing crazy thinking. They may call that one. Nope, they didn't. All right, everything's coming up Swoodilypoopin'. It's 2-0 in the 86th minute. Surely we can only give up 1 goal in the last 5 minutes and thereby win the game. But maybe we can win by 2 goals, which would be good for our goal differential. And this is looking, I mean, you know, like this is not going to be one of those, it's not going to be like last season where we run away with the title. Oh God. This is going to be one of those, it's going to come down to, at least it looks at the moment, like it's going to come down to the wire. Our form isn't what it should be. We're drawing a lot of games. And, thank you, Foderingham. You see how all my guys fell down at once, like they were doing a weird celebration or something? All right, we did it. We won. One other way you can become less lonely is by joining a football club. Works for me. Best wishes.